Well, there is nothing like enhancing a classic with modern graphics and gameplay mechanics. And if that classic feature can feature, new expansions and a remastering of the multiplayer experience, well, in my eyes, it's even better. So here from World's Edge even, to give us the latest on Age of Mythology Retold, please welcome Senior Director of Production, Earnest Yuen, and Senior Game Designer, Kristen Hanlon-Pirillo. Welcome and prostagma to you. Thank you so much. Now, Age of Mythology, there's loads going on here at Gamescom.
Yes.
In general, there's loads going on anyway. But you also had a pretty epic opening night live. So I want to hear all about that. I want to hear all about the booth. I want to hear everything.
Great. So first, thank you, Jeff Keighley, for showing the awesome premiere trailer that we just showing in opening the live last night. And it showed the story of Athena talking to the young hero, and in this case, one of them is of course the key character, Acanthos, and about this really, really epic story that a lot of our fans remember really fondly. So over multiple campaigns, over 50 missions, it is epic, amazing, and of course the trailer also show off the new graphics we have in the game, looking really pretty. It is just really cool to see. So.
Yeah, and the trailer's been fantastic because it really showcases how diverse each civilization is within myth.
Yeah.
We have our Greeks, we have Egyptians, Norse, and Atlantean. They all have their own gods, their lore, the way that they play. There's just so much diversity within the gameplay. It's been really exciting.
And talking about the booth, yes, we are here, so people can actually come.
You're just over the back, over there. You're tucked away over that
right
way.
there.
If anyone's planning on coming tomorrow, it's just over there.
And if you come, you can get these awesome lightning bolts, and also take pictures. So it's really, really cool. And by the way, this is not the only thing that we have here. So on top of Age of Mythology Retold, we also recently announced Age of Empires Mobile.
Woohoo!
And then, if you come by the booth, you can get this awesome pop socket. It's amazing. So highly recommend.
I'm going to be first in the queue to get one of those as soon as possible.
It's so cool. And the game is actually, we just announced that it's going to be available globally on October 17th. So it's a very different, very new experience that we're expanding Age of Empires to the mobile audience. So it's a game built with the awesome Team Studio Group, and they have crafted something that's amazing for the mobile gamers.
Oh, how exciting. I can't wait to see it. Amazing. Right, so I know you have more news to come as we're talking here today, but the first thing I want to talk about is that this is more of it's more than a remastering, but it's different to a sequel, right? So I don't know, what are the name of gods does Retold actually mean?
Right. So for a few years now, our fans know we have been building these things called definitive editions. And there's one key goal that we have, which is we want to build the title that's in your head, right? Not because when you actually think about the games that you grew up with and play, you remember fondly and say, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So, but when you actually try to play the original for real and look at it and say that's not what I remember at all. So we want to build the one that's actually in your head and how it looks like, how it feels like. So that's the goal. Really want to thank the fans for supporting us for so long for all the different editions. But for Retold, Age of Mythology Retold, we are going beyond what we have done in developed editions. So on top of all the graphics and all the gameplay from the original, we actually tweaked it and added a bunch of new things to it as well, and it is just amazing. So
yeah, I mean, from the design side, from the get-go, we really asked ourselves, how can we maximize our mythology? And so we've got reusable god powers, which you can actually see. We've got our approachability features like our VPS we brought in from other titles. We've got a more favor-based economy, so you can build more monsters, and our population cap is much higher now. So not only can you build more monsters, you can just build more of everything.
You add me at more monsters, I'll stop you there. It feels like a love letter, really. Everything you've learned so far, you're bringing back, and I love the idea of taking out what you see in your head and then making that version of the game. I think it's absolutely wonderful. So you mentioned a little bit about god powers, actually. I heard we have our very own gods wandering around at Gamescom, by the way, while we're on the subject.
Yes, we have invited them to the booth. So you also can actually see them. We have Athena and Zeus here in our booth. So come by, see them. You can see them on screen like that.
Zeus is loose.
Goodness me, where did you find that?
They are amazing. That is so cool.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness me.
Please come by. It takes a lot of work for us to invite them to the booth. So
A lot of convincing.
a
Love
lot of
it.
convincing.
Beautiful, awesome. Okay, back to the game now. Sorry, tangent. So seeing the gameplay that we just saw just then, it's really clear that the team has been hard at work on the visuals. I think you both mentioned it already.
Yes.
So what can we expect? What exactly does that mean?
So for graphics, we actually have redone every single graphics that you actually see in the
days.
game.
You've been
So
busy.
like every single 3D asset, every single animations, like effects, all of them are completely rebuilt. So just for this game. And it's amazing. The team did really, really good work. But we want to make sure that you also keep the flavor of the original.
Of course,
Because
yes.
again, we want to build a game that people remember.
Yeah.
So it's really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a labor of love. I will say that much. So we've gone asset by asset. And we've just made overall improvements. We wanted everything to look and feel mythical. And so we have, our destruction effects, we support ray tracing. But like Ernest had said earlier, sometimes when we've gone back and look at these assets in 2024, we realized that we had an image in our head that was very different than blurry pixels, wrapped around a sphere. And so we had a lot of philosophical discussions because, the dev team were all major fans of the original. So, I mean, Arcantus was a big one where we were like, would he have a dimple? Or would his chin be more square? Would he
I
have?
want to be in those meetings, please.
They've been really
Yes.
fun. It's part Rorschach test looking at some of the assets, and then it's like labor of love, and it all comes together to make that game that we remember loving and playing.
Amazing. So if I've got everything right here, so Age of Mythology Retold as complete visual overhaul, updated god powers, and larger-than-life myth units. Now, small enough to keep me interested, but is there anything else that you have to share?
Yes, definitely want to say that, remind people, one of the coolest thing that we have done for here is that we are releasing on PC and Xbox with crossplay, like at the same time. We have never done that with any Age games, so it is the first time we're releasing on multiple platforms at the same time. So really, really happy to be able to bring the game to not only to the keyboard and mouse player, but to controllerless players as well. Because the game people really remember, beloved it. We want everybody to be able to play together.
And you've had some fantastic versions on the console recently, so
Yes.
those players want to absolutely join you. Now, you also have some other really exciting things to tell us today. I know I'm really gripped for this, but what can you tell us about the Freyr Gods Pack?
Oh, I am so excited to be able to talk about this.
Here we go.
So the Freyr God Pack really is kind of like a new DLC type for us. And what we really wanted to do was offer the players a new strategy type for the Norse, which is, a beloved civilization from the legacy game that can sometimes be very offensive in the way that it plays. And so with our Freyr God Pack, we wanted to offer a defensive skew to it. So with the Freyr God Pack, players will be getting 4 new god types featuring Freyr, who is the god of fertility and kingship. And then 3 minor gods, as well as all the things that they come with, like their myth units and their god powers.
Wow. Oh my goodness me. That's insane, by the way. 4 new gods. Amazing. Are you able to talk us through each one? Can we do that?
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Excellent.
So we have Uller, who is the god of archery, and his myth unit is a Draugr, which you may see in the film here. The Draugr is an awesome myth unit. He's an undead archer, and his arrows can pierce multiple targets, whatever is in his line of sight. We have Aegir, who is the god of storms, and his god power, he has a horrifying hailstorm that will slow everybody down, and it's very frosty. And he is one of the best myth units, which is a rock giant, and if you upgrade him, he can eat buildings, and he will.
God, I love this game.
And our Mythic
Wow.
Age god is Vidar, who is the god of vengeance, very appropriate for the Mythic Age. And so his god power, he calls upon Fenrir, which is a mythological wolf. And Fenrir is interesting. He has a path of destruction. He'll light forests on fire, and the wolf comes up in a very scary, ghostly manner. And then his myth unit is actually my personal favorite. Another famous character from mythology, Fafnir, who is a very greedy dragon. Everywhere he goes, he leaves like a trail of poison.
Love it.
And if you slay Fafnir on the battlefield, he actually melts into a pile of gold coins.
Oh, wow.
So it's been very fun to
I
make.
really
and very
love
fun to
how
play.
much you've fleshed out each of those. Like, yeah, that one's going to eat buildings, isn't he? Love
Yes.
it. So
amazing.
good. Wonderful.
It's amazing. Just want to do a quick reminder that Freyr is going to be part of the premium edition of the game. So if you want Freyr and all both the major and minor gods, so definitely get the premium edition. And by the way, if you get the premium edition of the game, you also will be able to access the game earlier. So like the game is coming out September 4th, but like if you have the premium edition, you can start playing on August 28th, 7 days
Sounds like
early.
a good deal to me. Love it.
Yes.
Awesome. So as well as choosing your god and battling across this frozen north, what other new content can we expect from the Freyr Gods pack?
Yes, so with the Freyr God Pack, there's also a new playable level called Reagan Leaf Rally, and I won't spoil it. It's very fun. You'll get the chance to play all of the fun new myth units and god powers and techs I just mentioned. And really the best part of this level is that it does feature one of our villains from the Legacy campaign, Gargarensis, who is just a peach, and it's a great experience.
I'm stuck on peach there. I can't wait to unpack this expansion, but I need to ask you both, Ernest, Kristen, what dates? I know we spoke them a little bit, but let's go over it one more time so everyone's got them written on the calendar at home.
Yep, September 4th is when the game is coming out. So, but I do want to be clear that the way that we like to build our game, September 4th is really just the beginning. So we will continue to support the game, we'll continue to do updates, balance, listen to consumer feedback, and honestly, our players are amazing. They give us really good feedback, and then we can continue to improve the game.
Yeah,
So.
and part of that is, we have 2 new Pantheons coming with playable civilizations, and then we also have a new game mode, Arena of the Gods, which we're excited to talk about soon.
Ooh, how exciting. Well, thank you both so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to make sure I get the pop socket. I'm going to make sure I get whatever these things you're wearing. I'm going to hunt you down. I'm going to get them. So thanks so much for stopping by. There are loads more Age of Mythology stuff going on for all types of gamers. But first things first, as Ersten said, if you haven't already, make sure you pre-order Age of Mythology Retold Premium Edition to get the Freyr Gods Pack, 7 days early access, and so much more. You can play early from August 28th, and that is only 1 week from today. And that, my friends, is a wrap on day 1 from the Xbox Gamescom booth here in Germany.